Alima would come back. Christian says, "Oi, Alima!" Alima says, "Hey, Christian, how's your Eevee doing?" He says, "Good, how's yours?" He goes, "It's doing quite nice." He says, "Well, I actually don't have Eevee anymore." He says, "Come on out," and says, "Vaporeon." He says, "Oh, you evolved it into a Vaporeon?" He says, "Was Eevee okay with this?" He says, "Shh." So, he says, "Yeah, Eevee loved water so much for some reason. So I decided to ask Eevee, and Eevee agreed with it." He goes, "Well, it's used." He says, "Good." Ash says, "Christian, who is this guy?" Christian says, "This is Alima, one of my friends from the Pokemon school, and it's also super popular with everybody." Alima goes, Alima says, "Still a little jealous, huh?" Christian says, "No, I'm not. And turns his head and says, "I am not jealous. I am stingy." Whatever. So basically, when they would go, Christian says, "Alright, Vaporeon would be pretty happy to reunite with Eevee." So moving on to the jump thingy. Everyone would do theirs until Christian comes up and he's before Alima. He says, "Alright, Vaporeon," and holds Vaporeon and says, "Aqua Jet." Develop him in an Aqua Jet. And they'd spin going, "Ah!" Christian would pull out a random lighter and go, lighting the water up, going, "Ah!" And they crash into the water, creating a ginormous explosion in the water. He says, "Woohoo!" I just want to move on to the episode that actually has enough evidence for this to be an episode, the Celesteela episode. Basically, Chris would say, "Oh, we are about to have a fight." I'm kidding. So basically, when the Ultra Guardians thing would be dropped out, they'd be like, "Come on out, Ultra Guardians." Christian would tell Lusamine that he's ready to use Dragonite instead of Salamence. She already knew this in the head, so Dragonite is taken to the place. He says, "Alright." So, Christian says, "Vaporeon." Lexi says, "Torracat," and puts it on it, and Torracat sits down on Dragonite. And when they go and they're ready for Celesteela, they drop in, and then they'd fly off. Moving to Celesteela's location. So Christian says, "Hey." He goes, "Yeah, we're going to Celesteela." When they head to Celesteela, Team Rocket would attack. Christian says, "Oh, hell no." He says, "Torracat learned this move when it evolved. Torracat, blue fire." Yeah, I know it's too early to learn that move, and none of the Torracat clan can learn that, but it's full on Torracat, so he says, "Torracat, blue fire." And if you don't know what blue fire is, it's the attack it's a Rushram's main attack. He goes, it's an insanely powerful attack. Going, actually destroying him. Going, "Won't you let him go?" Destroying him right there and then. Then Celesteela would launch off, and I just want to go to the next episode. So basically, when Viren's goons would attack, well, they wouldn't attack. They would just say that they want a thing, and Kiawe would tell them about it. Christian says, "I've heard of Viren. He gets whatever he wants. He's basically a spoiled brat." He says, "I remember encountering him once with Dratini. He wanted to force me to give Dratini over, but I refused. And he used that stupid Electivire to try and attack us, but luckily, Hala interfered." He says, "Wow. And that's why Dragonite likes Hala, because he almost got taken away from its trainer, but Hala saved it." He says, so then when they go over to help Kiawe at the farm, Viren would arrive. First says, he would, basically destroy Marowak and Tornado Christian just Dragonite, Dragon Rush. And from the skies in the heavens, they see a blue light. Christian goes, ah! And smashes to the ground, going, so Viren, we meet again. He says, you? Where's that Dratini? Where's that Dratini? Dragonite stomps forward and says, brr, brr. He goes, duh, a Dragonite? He says, Dratini evolved, and now I'm gonna destroy you. He goes, this is revenge! He says, he goes, now Dragonite! No! With the dragon powers in all of our heart, and the depths of our lungs. Dragon power there, dragon power here, dragon power there. Dragon force! He says, Dragonite, devastating Drake! When one dragon explodes them, sending them flying out of there, he says, oh, now don't come, he says, just for extra measures, Dragon Rush! And comes and rams them even farther back. Just think he ran back Viren. It's goons. Viren's still there. Christian says, now Dragonite, now let's take on Electivire. They'd rush towards each other, going, da, 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 da. Dragonite would spin, smacking it with its tail, going, ah. Christian says, now Dragon Claw. Viren would say, Thunder Punch. They'd clash, but Dragon Claw would eventually push it back, going, ah. Christian says, Thunder Punch. And they both say Thunder Punch, clashing. But right when they're about to clash, he says, no, we'll remove it. Then he would take it full on, getting a free motor drive in. Christian says, oh, that's how you shouldn't have done that. Christian says, Dragon Claw, and crush it, sending it flying away. Then he'd say, Electivire, use Thunder. Christian says, oh, no you don't. He says, let's finish it off. One shot. Dragon Rush. He goes, oh, I had the video saved of Dragonite going, Barr, Barr. I really hope my mic isn't muted right now. I have it ready. He says, Dragonite, Dragon Rush. Absolutely destroying Electivire. He goes, then Dragonite will land on the ground going, Barr, Barr. Ash says, we really need to have a battle with my Charizard and your Dragonite. Christian's neck cracks and goes, you what? You have a Dragonite? You have a Charizard? We haven't battled yet? He goes, that's it. We're going to the Kanto region. I'm kidding. He wouldn't say that. He would say that. He says, that's it. We're going to the Kanto region. He says, I could just ask Professor Oak. This is the one time Charizard's going to be in Sun and Moon. I'm going to allow a one-time journey for Charizard to be in Sun and Moon. Ash will retrieve Charizard, and he says, hey Charizard, someone wants to battle you. He says, holy crap, that Charizard looks badass. He says, I'm the one who's going to battle you, Charizard. Dragonite, let's go. Throwing him out. He go, bah! They immediately come and high five, because Dragonite isn't toxic like Iris's is. When the battle would start, Ash would say, slash! Christian would say, Dragon Claw! They'd clash, but with Dragon Claw easily destroying the clash, going, brah, hitting Charizard back. Christian would say, Thunder Punch! Got to go with the one Ash says, Dragon Tail! The two would clash, but Dragon Tail actually prevailing. He goes, yeah! Christian says, you're good, Ash. but not good enough. He powers up into fullest. It says, Dragonite, wing attack. He says, Dragonite, flamethrower. Yeah, I was like, why? It's ineffective. Ash would say, flamethrower as well. They'd say, but when Christian says flamethrower, he doesn't mean flamethrower. He means Dragon Claw. He cuts right through it, going, brrr, boom, hitting him right in the face, going, brrr. Now for the ultimate clash. Ash would say, since I actually had the video of this,
alright then, you slash!
and using slash, he goes, roar. There we go. He pretending Irish was Christian. Christian does Dragon Rush. And they would clash, going bang. They'd both land on the ground. With Christian's Dragonite doing the same pose. Everyone's like, did Charizard or Dragonite win that? When they both see, they're both really scratched up. Christian says, Ash says, this is way better than the battle I had with Iris. Christian says, let's go, Dragonite, Thunder Punch. Ash would say, Dragon Tail. Christian would say, Psych. He says, Psych, Dragon Rush. And one quick Dragon Rush and Charizard flying. He goes, roar. Out of nowhere, Christian says, now with your full power, let's go with our strongest move ever. He says, Ash, Charizard can't do this, can he? He goes, hold on, give me a second. Well, there was no video, so he goes, Devastating Drake! Hitting Charizard with full force, and actually destroying Charizard, beating it. I know Charizard is super overpowered and all that crap. I just want to end off the battle with the Z move. Person says, my Dragonite is awesome! And they'd high-five each other, and that's it for this.